public hearings were held throughout the state of Minnesota to talk about some issues as it relates to clean water restoration, and the impacts of local units of government and their abilities to be able to respond to the needs of its citizens. Robert Cope, Commissioner from Idaho and Chair of the National Association of Counties Energy, Environment, and Land Use Committee, conducted those hearings with a number of local county commissioners sitting forth listening to the testimony. The most significant issue that came from the entire hearings was this: that you and I, each and every one of us, are more familiar with what is going on with clean water and the way it is moved within each of our counties than the general citizenry is at this particular moment. And it is incumbent upon us to determine whether or not the changes that are expected in Washington are in the best interest of our county or not. What we heard was individual people coming up and talking to us about their specific problems, but not being able to relate that to someone else's problems other than the fact that it didn't seem to make sense. And it wasn't until other county commissioners came in front of us and talked to us about what they saw collectively that it became clear to us exactly what the issues are. And I think it's really important as we set forth on either determining, at least in the state of Minnesota, how important what happens in Washington and what happens in the state capitol, how it impacts us. It is not until you go to these public hearings and start listening as you hear citizens say, it took me years to get a permit and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And then a county commissioner come up and say, the easy answer to that is that too many people have their fingers in the pie and they're too far away and they really don't understand the concern of what's going on at the local level. These are important issues, folks, and like it or not, both the federal and state government impacts us tremendously, as we all know from our budgeting process, which says that 85 to 90% of all the decisions made here at the local board are based on mandates and sometimes on funded mandates. So please, if you have people who have had troubles with getting projects done in water project areas, make sure that somebody, particularly at this particular point, myself and anybody else who is on the Environment and Natural Resource Committee for NACO, that would include Wade Pavlik from northeastern Minnesota, let them know what's going on so that we can carry your messages. Thank you, Mr. Chair.